Hey guys, Sunday, May 4th, 2025. This is what I call market recap. I actually look at this every Sunday morning when I wake up and just kind of glance at everything. And this is something I've been doing a long time. Sometimes I post on it, so it's not something that I do regular, but I do it once in a while just to kind of see. And I use two things here. I use the performance, and then I use the charts, and I go through each sector and kind of see what's happening. Why I do this? So I could, de-associate myself with theories, techniques, indicators, moving averages, stochastics, signals, um, theories, technical analysis. It's just pretty much charts and performance. So this just kind of like I come into the chart, into this financial world empty. No bias, nothing. I'm just looking at numbers and just looking at charts and price action. So from there, if I'm interested in a sector or if I'm interested looking at something into more depth, then that's when I start adding all the other stuff. But I like to come in naked and clean and with no bias, no YouTuber influence, no Twitter, no blogs, no CNBC, no Bloomberg, nothing. I just looking at it with my eyes, just looking at charts. So I start off with the year to date, and I always go with the top three from the extreme points. Top three from all the time frames. Just kind of imprint that in my head. So that way, in my mind, starting this whole week, I have these imprinted. And if something happens, the news, anything, I always know what kind of how we're starting off this week. As you can see, year to date, VIX, coffee, and soybean pretty strong. Crude oil, cocoa, and orange juice very weak. And mind you, if you are a bottom feeder, bottom feeders are called people that like to buy stuff that are cheap. But it's not naturally the way we are built. We like to buy things when they're already going up and very too extreme because we hate fear and we like to see things going in the direction that we assume that it's going. But the best time to buy is when nobody wants to buy it. But we're kind of hardwired to buy things when they're at the top because you feel like fear of missing out. It's like, oh man, this is doing so good. I need to get in. But it's supposed to be the opposite. I need to buy when there's blood on the street. I need to buy when people hate it. Because eventually, we live in cycles. You know, one day you're feeling good, one day you're feeling bad, one day you're feeling good, one day you're weak and tired, and one day you're super strong. That reflects in life cycles. It looks like right now, orange juice is in a downward cycle. And if you're a bottom feeder, this is when you want to start dipping your toes in there or, at least have an idea as like, you know what? No one really likes orange juice. Year to date, and it's at a discount. Maybe I need to start looking into what's going on there. But anyway, I digress. As you can see, the three from year to date, and we go to the year. You can see the natural gas is up there now with cocoa and coffee. See, gold is right behind natural gas. Uh, this is the 1 year performance. You can see wheat is the weakest. Rice and RBOB. You can see orange juice is right there on the fourth. Half year, so this is half a year. Natural gas is on top. Coffee right behind it. Cocoa. You got palladium, one that I'm watching. Sugar, oats, orange juice. So you can see there's a theme. Orange juice is pretty much leading for like the last three already. Orange juice at the bottom. Orange juice is on the fourth. You see orange juice on the last again on the half year quarters. This is 3 months. You can see the VIC was strong, and we know why. Natural gas is right behind it, and there goes gold on the third. Cocoa, crude oil, orange juice. So orange juice has a big theme building up here on the different time frames. MTD month to date performance. Natural gas now is leading. Cotton was right behind it. The Russell. See coffee, oats, orange juice, and now VIX. Remember, VIX was very strong. See, now it's getting weak, but now we're month to date performance. Now we're going to the smaller time frames. You see that VIX now is strong there. NOLA, orange juice, lumber within a 1 month performance. Weak, crude, Brent, and WTI. This is smaller time frame, remember. Now we're in the week performance, like the whole week. Natural gas was the strongest, obviously. So that big run that we made, that low we made on April the 25th, 286, I think it was 285, 286. DAX is strong. NASDAQ. You see oats, crude, and Brent. I've always noticed that sometimes when these go down very extreme or start pushing, black sheep or the black widow starts going higher. There's something about these guys that when they go extreme, they go opposite. I've noticed that, and I don't even need a correlation, chart to even tell me that. I just see it, and I just remember it with my mind. Natural gas daily, 1 day performance so far good, obviously. So the price action. And orange juice back again, negative with crude and VIX. VIX is coming down. And euro looks like it's good. These are the smaller time frames. This one is not that great for getting an idea. I think starting from here down, you'll see a theme kicking in with all of these, but you always have to use the 3 extreme points. In my opinion, you can use whatever you want. They always say never fiddle in the middle. In the middle is where you get chopped up. I remember hearing that from the guys, not me personally being on the floor, but people talking about it. Never fiddle in the middle. Always come here. Sell here, buy here. Anyway, let's go now to the charts. Okay, so I'm starting up. I kind of glance at all of these, and I normally work between monthly and weekly. Daily is a lot of noise. Hourly is super noisy. Don't even bother with the 5 minutes unless I'm going to, enter a trade. These I would use to enter trades, but I mean, I wouldn't use this platform, but I use the hourly 4 hour, maybe between a 5 minute and a minute. And sometimes I look at ticks, but monthly and weekly just to kind of see what's happening. And if we look at their monthly on the indices, you can see that a lot of bottom feeders showed up. Once we cracked 5,000, we're somewhere around maybe, I don't know, 37 around there, 38. NASDAQ, look at all the bottom feeders. Russell, Nikkei, people buying on the dip. The euro. The DAC, look at the DAC. Look how healthy that DAC is. This is monthly. Once it cracked below 2,000, look at that. And the VIX, you can see that we hit and we just pull back. But if you just take a glance, the DAX looks pretty good. We've pulled back. We haven't gone to the highs. DAX pulled back and came right back. What does that tell you? The DAX is pretty good. So that's something that I'm already imprinting in my head. So now if the DAX comes up, I could be like, yeah, let's see that chart this week or Sunday. Anything comes up here, it was like, yeah, that market is pretty good. Everybody else is kind of weak, especially in the US. Look at that. The Russell, the Nikkei starting to regain. The euro is not that bad. Not the highs, but it's not that bad. Kind of see the Nasdaq, and that's just by glancing at the monthly. But you can see that the DAX is kind of the winner here. Then when you go to the weekly, it starts showing a better picture. We almost had an inside candle, and as of Friday, we closed higher, pushed higher. It looks like maybe as of right now, a bottom could probably be in, maybe a swing. Maybe is this an A, B, C? Very possible if you're, in the Elliott wave, but I'm not trying to do Elliott wave thing here or Gann theory or whatnot. I just want to see what the chart is telling me. So far, what I can see here, bottom feeders. Bottom feeders are people buying at discount. That could be institutions, that could be mom and pop. That's you and me. And they said, you know what, this is a good price to get in. I'm aware of the risk and I'm willing to play with the risk. I want to get in and get exposure. Maybe we go high, maybe we test the highs, and maybe we push higher, or maybe it's a dead cat bounce and we're going to get chopped. Either way, that is what the market is telling me here. You can see the Nikkei starting to, looks like the U.S. is kind of leading a little bit, especially with the S&P and the Nasdaq. Dow Jones is slowly trying to catch up. Nikkei's looking good. Euro's looking good. The DAX already made it to the highs. That's interesting. So whenever you hear the DAX, you'd be like, yep, the DAX is already close to the highs compared to everybody else. And the VIX came down hard. And now it's at the highs of here. So that shows you that the risk is coming down. Volatility actually is coming down. And people are entering the markets. How long that's going to last, we'll find out. Energy. Let's look at energy. As you can see, we go to the monthly. This to me was always consolidating, and something happened here in January that now we're pushing lower. But it was a consolidation pattern right here. For some reason, something happened in January that now we're pushing lower. Same things applies to crude. RBOB, not that much. It's still holding, but something happened here with crude. And maybe there's not that much demand. Maybe, I don't know. Something's going on here, but something's shifted. It's pushed back. I don't know if that's a dead cat bounce or a bear trap to now really rip, but just by looking at it, it's much weaker. Heating oil, heating oil. We only use it when it gets cold. Right now, it's just kind of sideways, grinding lower. Natural gas got a nice bump. We put that high at 490, push back. We got an inside monthly candle and ethanol, but then when you go to the weekly, you kind of see the line 65, pushed it lower. Try to regain it, fail. Same thing here. 70 on Brent, pushing lower. RBOB still holding, around that maybe 190 around there. Just holding better than Brent and WTI. Heating oil, obviously losing his Momo. Natural gas pulled back for 7 weeks. And now is trying to regain. And the question remains is this the low to continue going higher and trend? I have evidence that backs that up seasonality wise, strong into May, June. But we shall see. We shall see. I know the weekly spectrum cycle, it's still bullish. The last time I saw it was into November. But so far, like I said, this is not about the technical. It's just more about like what's happening with the price action. Ethanol. Let's go to bonds. You see bonds on the monthly just consolidating. 10-year consolidating, 5-year consolidating. 2-year consolidating. Nothing's broken out of anywhere, even though when you look at the weekly, you get these nice swings, but it's still contained. So that's what I'm telling you. Start from the bigger and then work your way down. So it's just still consolidating back and forth. You got this nice pop when the market started crashing, and then it pulled back, and now it's kind of back in the middle. Offs. Let's go to the monthly. Cocoa was doing pretty good. Up, pulled back, put a higher high there, and then pulled back. So now it's still consolidating, not selling off, not on a downturn yet. Still holding. Cotton pulled back, and now it's kind of going sideways, so it's consolidating. Orange juice got a nice trend up. Something happened between November and December, and then it just collapsed. So, just looking at this, at the weekly, it's finding some kind of bottom here, but not too early to tell. But definitely in a downward. Coffee holding up pretty strong. It's not like these guys. It's just holding up pretty good. Looking at the monthly inside candle, it tried to go down, but they bought it right back up. Lumber got this nice leg up higher and push back. Sugar is selling off. Now let's look at the weekly. You can see trending sideways to lower. It still hasn't crossed 70 in cotton. Having a tough time at the 300 with orange juice, and coffee's holding between 350 and 400. So it's consolidating there. Lumber pulled back, and sugar still in a downward spiral. Sugar, if this is not going to be support around 17, you're probably going to go down to 15. Metals, pretty much everybody's favorite. So this one is going to be interesting. On the monthly, gold is still doing good. Hit 3,500. I need to start looking at the chart into gold, because that's interesting that it stopped at 3,500. But needless to say, it's still holding pretty good. You got an inside monthly candle. Silver, it looks like it's trying to catch up. It's just having a tough time between 35 and 30, just chopping around there. Try to sell it off, and then they bottom feeders came up. Platinum still in chop fest. I mean, the biggest chop fest. I don't know if it's the biggest chop fest, but it's one of the biggest ones I've seen. 1,200, maybe 11, 800. It is just not going nowhere. Back and forth, back and forth. But you can make money here. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. It's not doing this, and this is what a lot of people are waiting for. But this back and forth to finish, and then when you get this in platinum, that's when it's going to be interesting. But so far, it hasn't done it. Copper is still kind of holding on the higher range, on the upper range. So far, still looking good. Between $5 and $4. And palladium, I think this is, out of all these right here, this is the best one. This is the underdog, the most hated. No one talks about it. This is the one you're going to make the most money if you time it right. You can see that from 2024, you can say maybe January, we already have a year and maybe a couple of months of just chop fest. Nothing's happening. But I feel that someone is building a position. I'm not saying someone like I know someone, but I feel like somebody is building a position to ride this thing higher. So far, if you're in gold, you're doing good. I'm probably going to make a video on gold just to see where we're at in regards to what I will now talk about: Elliott wave, Gann theory, market geometry, cycles, spectrum cycles, a Fourier, all that kind of stuff. Then I start adding it. But A lot of people are kind of thinking, are we in the top? Is it going to continue going higher? So far, the trend is up. Path of least resistance is up. So this is the kind of market, any dips, you try to get in. Like you could try to get in here, you try to get in here, any dip, you try to get in here. This is the monthly. Now we look at the weekly. You got an inside weekly candle. Nothing's really, no damage hasn't even been done. Look at the daily, you get spooked. You're like, oh, what happened? Oh yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, 4 days down, and then we pop. Here's a little different. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days down, and we're holding what was probably the Friday is an inside day candle. So things change here a little bit. But if you look at the weekly, you really haven't really done anything. You haven't taken out that low yet. So just wait and see what happens. But so far, looking at 35, you have to find out why 35 it stalled. I mean, I know it's kind of like a round number, but Gann always said there's always something about numbers, why they stop at certain numbers. That will spark my interest, especially looking at that, weekly, could be a hammer candle. Definitely something I want to probably maybe do a next video on. But then looking at the silver, just kind of chopping between 35 and 30. Palladium, you can just see, if you're in and out, you'll make money, but it's very, very choppy. And platinum, palladium, just something about that, between 800 and 900 as being a area of demand. And somewhere between, I don't know, 12 and 1100 just resistance. So you can just buy here, and then once it gets to 1100 or close to it, sell. Back and forth until this game gives in and be like, all right, we're either going to go lower or we're going to just start pushing higher. Meats. Look at that. Your steak is going to be more expensive in the next coming years. We are trending since 2020. Your Big Mac, your McDonald's. Who eats White Castle here? I remember when I used to go out there and party and get drunk, and then we used to eat White Castles. Oh man, it just killed us the next day. Killed us. But look at this. Trending, trending, trending. Path of least resistance is to the upside. Meat is going to be more expensive, and it's becoming more expensive. So I wonder if they're going to start bringing in the fake meats, what I call it, the fake meats, the genetically, I don't know if it's called genetically modified or plant-based meat, whatever it is. That's going to be the alternative. And, people that don't make that much money, that's probably what they're going to start buying because it's going to be much cheaper and affordable compared to the live cattle, which is the way, God made it and God intended us to eat meat if you're like carnivore like me. Um, but yeah, like your live cattle, trending, trending. Meat is going to be more expensive. This is a market where you buy dips. Feeder cattle, same thing, pushing higher. Lean hogs, I don't know. They say this is the unclean animal here in the Bible. It's not really going anywhere, but I'm sure it's probably going to catch up because when people can't afford live cattle and feeder cattle and all that, this is what they're going to result to. Then this is probably going to start moving higher. We go look at the weekly. You can see buy dips, buy dips. Somebody's buying it when it pulls back. Uh, Look at that bull kicker candle on the weekly. Who's doing that? Somebody's betting that food is going to be more expensive. Same thing here. Oh, the top is in. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, fourth candle up. Lean hog. Same thing. Let's go to grains. Corn has been just consolidating there for like at least, 1, 2, 3 months. Soybean meal. Oats has been Chop Fest since you could say last year or 2 years. But the Chop Fest got tighter now between 300 and 400. Rice, very oversold, not liked for some reason. I don't know what's going on with rice, but you can see that the sentiment is down. And soybeans just consolidating since pretty much the middle of last year. So it's like in a super tight range, holding the 1,000. Wheat, this was interesting. It's been holding, consolidating since 2023. It's very tight, probably between like 500 and 600. Super tight. This one I'll be interested if I was to trade to the upside. Canola, same thing. Chopping, chopping. You can see it on the weekly. Rough rice selling, consolidating. You can just see that tight range. You can see 600 and maybe 530 on wheat. Swings, you can still make money. There's nice swings. Somebody's just accumulating, it falls, accumulating, falls. And then one is just going to rip. It's going to rip, test 600, and then go to 650 and 7. Then you'll be like, oh, what happened? Wheat now it's climbing. That's where you want to wait. All of this is all tradable. You just have to know the right time frame you're going to be want to trade and manage risk. Canola looking good here too on the weekly. In regards to currencies, let's go to the weekly. On the weekly, this is when Trump came into office or was about to. It looks like it was a confirmed win. The dollar exploded. Hit 110, and then from there it sold off. And I've always remembered Trump never liking the dollar high. So once he came into term, officially that he is the president, then from there, boom, the dollar sold off. And I wonder if the dollar is going to continue pushing lower within his term. So that 98 bottom feeders showed up. And then if you look at the monthly, you can see that right here is a strong level right there, 100. It's a strong floor. Now, if it cracks that low, we're going to push to 95 to 90. So if we take out that low, I got a high bet that we're going to go to 90 and test this level. And I'm sure Trump is going to be happy with that. He won't complain because he likes a weak dollar. And that's my opinion. Not that I know him like that. But from what I observe, this is the kind of level he likes. That and maybe even lower. So yeah, you got to keep your eye on the dollar to see if now it's going to bounce off from here and get back into this chop fest here between 110 and 100. And that way you gauge all the other currencies. Here was pretty strong. Pound just kind of retraced back to the highs and so forth. Currencies, crypto. Let's look at crypto charts. Let's go to the monthly. So far, I mean, it was a sell-off, but not really nothing major. If you look at it like this, it's like back a little bit above the midpoint range, 95. So it's not that bad. Ethereum hasn't really retracted much above compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a very popular one. XRP kind of reminds me of Ethereum. Let's look at the weekly. But yeah, so we sold off from here like the equities. We popped. It's kind of following the equities if you ask me. But this is the strongest one following the equities. And Ethereum, not that great. gaining traction, but not much. XRP, everything else is just kind of like, eh. I mean, look at that. Just it's not really going anywhere. If I was to trade any of this, it'll probably just be maybe this, maybe this. I mean, this looks better than this right here. Just looking at the chart to speculate. But this is the one you probably want to get your eyes on. Start pushing higher to test that high. Then obviously these guys are going to run up with it. So let's go back to futures. Charts, I think, of the metals sector. Monthly, need to revisit this palladium, and I need to see what's going on here with this 3500. Why we stalled there. If there's something there, is there an angle? Is there something? Now, this is where the technical kicks in my mind. Because after I look at the chart, I'm looking at it naked. I'm not influenced by anything. I'm just looking at, okay, we stalled at 35 really hard. I mean, we can look at it on the weekly. Is it something I should be worried about? Should I be concerned? I own gold physically. I own silver physically. So I have exposure. And then palladium, see where we're at in regards to the timing. Is it this the year, 2025, that we start trending higher? I feel like somebody's like, when I say somebody, I feel like it's not like I know someone, but I feel like the price action I see right here in the weekly, build up, drop, build up, drop, build up, drop. And then in one, going to be a build up. It's going to hit this and push higher and then test it from the back end and then continue. But that hasn't happened, that play. This is the underdog. This is the best one. In regards to meats, this is the one you probably want to buy on dips until it doesn't work. So wait for a nice pullback on the weekly for like 3 or 4 weeks. You just time it, what's done in the past, count those weeks, 1, 2, 3. Maybe on the fourth one buy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Went 6 here, popped. This one went 2. Tried to retest the low, did it. Somebody came and pushed it higher. That kind of mind frame, trading strategy. But in regards to the meats, these are the two good ones. Unless you think lean hog is going to catch up. And grain, I will probably be watching wheat. Just by glancing at all these markets. I mean, even oats, but wheat. Like these two, because they've been consolidating since 2023 and nothing's really happened. Probably want to see like a big bull kicker candle on the monthly to spark your interest, or on the weekly, maybe on the monthly, because that's going to show you like something like that on the monthly. Somebody's really interested here, like it did it, but then it just kind of pulled back. But if you waited 1, 2, 3 months, then the move really developed. So maybe something like that, bull kicker on the monthly, 1, 2, 3 months of, retrace. Maybe on the third month, that kind of, scenario. Look at what happened here. They did it here, but it wasn't the right timing. So you have to do this in conjunction with like cycle techniques and all that for, confirmation and maybe fundamentals and all that. Those are the markets I will be watching. Softs, I don't trade soft. Bonds, they're all just consolidating, waiting for something. So nothing's really happening here. And on the energy sector, natural gas, to see what's going to happen this week. It's interesting. Now into the technicals, we're either on a wave or to head down lower, meaning maybe crude and all of them get a pop, or they're going to continue going lower and natural gas is gonna possibly have a gap up on Sunday and maybe continue going higher. Just because of the Gann theory that I follow, it indicates that's possible. But it could be very tricky here. It could be a gap up and then go down, fill it, and then trap bulls. Or it could be one of those things where there's a gap and it continues going higher. It's starting to trend higher into May and June. Indices, looking at the weekly, you could probably put a trend line coming down from there. All right, my son is here moving my arm. If you could do a trend line, if you could break through that trend line, probably is going to push higher. But so far, it's showing that it wants to go higher. But then again, it could be an ABC correction down, especially with the tariff stuff. And it could be the beginning of something even uglier. So I'm looking at it both sides. But so far, it looks like it wants to grind higher, and DAX is the best one out of them all. And keep an eye on the VIX. Make sure it doesn't get above 25. That's it for me. This was my market recap. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll keep you posted on market recap.